you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so today we are in the brand new 2023 Toyota Tacoma because it is known, of course, for legendary reliability. You get 2 years or 25,000 miles, complimentary maintenance as well, and there's several new changes for the 2023 model year. So ultimately in this video, we will be going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there are several different trim levels for the 2023 Tacoma. First one being the SR, starting at $27,250, which is a modest $100 bump from 2022. Probably the best I've seen so far. SR5 for $29,040. TRD Sport for $34,160. Trail Special Edition for $40,470. TRD Off-Road for $35,440. TRD Pro for $46,685. And then the limited trim level starting at $40,005. And so that was all base pricing for each trim. Of course, there's rear wheel drive versus four wheel drive. There's bed length options, engine options. So there are several different ways to go ahead and bump that price up a little bit more if you wanted to. But anyways, to go along with all of these trim levels, there are two different power plants available for the 2023 Tacoma. First one is going to belong to the SR and SR5 trim levels. That one is a 2.7 liter naturally aspirated inline four cylinder, putting out 159 horsepower at 5,200 RPM, 180 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 3,800 RPM, power center rear wheels or all wheels through a 6-speed automatic, giving you MPG numbers coming in at 20 in the city, 23 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. But so that there is that other engine option, basically belonging to all of the other trim levels. That one is a 3.5 liter direct injected Atkinson Cycle V6, putting out 278 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 265 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 4,600 RPM. Again, power center rear wheels or all wheels through either a 6-speed manual, yes, that is still available, that's nice, or a 6-speed automatic. 0 to 60 time approximately 7.6 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 19 in the city, 24 on the highway for the rear wheel drive, 17 city, 21 then on the highway for the four-wheel drive, but again, taking regular unleaded fuel. Gotta love that. But so now, having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 Toyota Tacoma here up to speed. All right, I think we got a straightaway, guys. Let's kick it. Oh, okay. All right, I'm digging it. It's surprisingly a heck of a lot quicker than I expected. All right, there's 60. That's not bad, honestly. Certainly not gonna have any issues emerging onto the highway. Dare I say, that was even a little bit of fun. So actually not that bad of an acceleration. I can vouch for the V6. Now, I will say I drove the 4-cylinder last year and that wasn't horrible, but it was definitely not even close to as powerful as the V6, obviously. So I am a big fan of the engine that we have in this one here today. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 10.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 10-inch rear drum brakes. As far as that 6-0 stopping distance goes, it's going to come in at 143 feet. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front, you're going to get a coil spring double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, leaf spring rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars, gas pressurized shock absorbers, but you will actually get a sport tune suspension if you were to go with that TRD Sport. And then if you were to go with the TRD Off-Road, you're going to go to off-road suspension with Bilstein shocks. And then the TRD Pro trim level is going to add to that machine forged upper control arm and a TRD tuned off-road suspension with 2.5-inch Fox internal bypass coilovers and rear remote reservoir shocks as well. So I feel like the more up in the trim levels that you go, the more suspension components that you get. But overall, as far as ride quality goes, we're driving on a pretty smooth road right now, I will say that. But having said that, ride quality has been incredibly fine, so definitely not having any issues there. As far as steering feel goes, I don't know, I would say it kind of leans on the looser side of things, if I'm being honest. But having said that, the 10-2 grips on the steering wheel, they're M grips. They're BMW M grips. They're so freakishly thick. I love the grips, but wouldn't have minded if they firmed up the steering feel a little bit on the Tacoma. I will say that. So anyways, then touching on cabin noise, we're going 55 miles per hour right now. You guys could be the judge of that. There's a whole lot of exterior wind noise or road noise coming into the cabin, but I will say when you really hit the engine, you do get a good bit of that engine noise, but that personally doesn't bother me. I actually like engine noise in vehicles, and the rest of it is really non-existent when it comes to wind noise and road noise. So I personally don't have any issues here. Then touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. If you've driven a truck before, it pretty much looks like that. So I'll just put it that way. But anyways, that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Toyota Tacoma. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Toyota Tacoma, finished in silver metallic in this 27-degree day. Yeah, it's cold, but anyways, let's take a look at the VIN here first so I can tell you guys where this one is made. The VIN number starts with a 3, so therefore this one is assembled in Mexico. Interesting. All right, so let me first touch on the changes for 2023. There is a chrome package available now, led by 18-inch chrome alloy wheels. There is a solar octane color available for the TRD Pro, and now there is smart key operation added to the V6 SR5 model. So that pretty much rounds out the changes for the 2023 model year. But as always, let's go ahead and start up front on this one. Front grille, of course, is going to differ amongst the trim levels, a little bit different look. Projector beam halogen headlights is going to come standard, but LED reflector headlights are going to be available like we have today. And for anyone who is curious, we actually have the TRD Sport trim level, so that is what you guys are looking at. Daytime running lights, of course, do come standard on all trim levels, actually automatic feature as well, and automatic high beams. Even on the SR trim level, you get automatic high beams. Essentially what that is when you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bump it back up to high beams. So very convenient feature there. SR5 trim level and up is going to get fog lights down below. Gotta love those LED fog lights you guys are looking at. Again, TRD Pro front skid plates, obviously for the TRD Pro trim level, as expected there. But one of my favorite features on the exterior, at least in the front here, you get that hood scoop with the TRD Sport trim level and up. So I absolutely love that. It looks so dang good up there. It's kind of what the Tacoma is known for now, so huge fan of that look. And honestly, front end, it looks dang good to me. But anyways, that about rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so we're now making our way to the side of the Tacoma here. Access and double cab configurations are available. We do have the double cab. I actually had the access cab last year, so I'll leave a link to that review at the end of this one if you wanted to go ahead and take a look at that. So curious to test out the rear legroom in that double cab there later in the video. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors do come standard. They will also be heated, coming standard as well, which is very nice on 27-degree days here in Western Maryland. Integrated turret signals then coming with the TRD off-road trim level and up. Then taking a look down at the wheel configuration, they will all differ substantially depending upon the trim level that you go with. You're going to get steel wheels with the SR, dark gray alloys for the SR5, 17-inch machine finished alloys for the TRD Sport. That's what you guys are looking at, of course. 16-inch machine finished alloys for the TRD Off-Road, 16-inch black alloys for the TRD Pro, and 18-inch polished alloys then for the Limited. So like that TRD 4x4 Sport badging on the tailgate in the back there. Tacoma lettering found on the front doors. That's going to be found on the SR5 trim level and up. The SR is not going to get that. And again, I had the SR last year. Actually wasn't a bad truck for the money, honestly, but definitely a good looking side profile though. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of this one, Tacoma lettering spelled out on the tailgate itself. Gotta love that. You got the V6 badging if your Tacoma is equipped with the V6, that is. Got the Toyota lettering on the liftgate handle itself, of course. Tow hitch is going to be available. We do have that. And by the way, max towing capacity for all trim levels is going to come in at 6,400 pounds. So got that there for you. And just below it all, kind of tucked away on the passenger side, you will find a single exhaust outlet. So having said that, I think I remember this sounding really, really good last year. So, oh, and LED taillights. I almost forgot to mention that. But I think I remember the exhaust sounding really good last year. So I do believe you guys know what we have to do next then. As always, here is that exhaust clip. And so, but now since we are around to the back of the Tacoma, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a manual tailgate, of course, but it is an easy lower tailgate, so it's not going to come flying down at you. So I do like that. But once opened up, 5 or 6 foot beds are going to be available back there. So there's a deck rail system with 4 adjustable tie-down cleats. There's 4 fixed tie-down points. There's a fiber reinforced sheet molded composite bed. There's some storage compartments. That's pretty cool. There's some bed lighting back there as well, and there is a tonneau cover available available, which we do happen to have with us here today, and 120 volt power outlet back there as well. So big fan of seeing that. So pretty much everything you could possibly want back there. But now making our way up to the rear legroom for the access cab that comes in at 24.6 inches. So more or less unusable for humans, even kids, but you could probably put some tools back there. Just about everything else, just not people. Double cab comes in at 32.6 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. Of course, typical truck fashion, there is flip up bench seating. There's a little bit of under seat storage back there as well, which is pretty cool. There is a rear power window for the SR5 trim level and up, but you do get a manual rear window for the SR. So the power rear window button is going to be kind of located just in front of the shifter. So I'm definitely a big fan of that. I always like the power rear windows in trucks. Then make your way up to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seating coming with the SR. 10-way power driver seat for the SR5 trim level and up. You got leather seating for the TRD Pro and Limited. Heated front seats for the TRD Pro and Limited as well. As far as seat comfort goes, it's fine. It's nothing crazy. Definitely not the most comfortable seats, but they're not bad. I mean, I would be perfectly fine with them. So yeah, they'll get the job done. Then take a look at the steering wheel, one of my favorite parts about the Tacoma. Tilt and telescoping. Wrapped in urethane for the SR though, and leather wrapped for the SR5 trim level and up. 10 and 2 grips are massive. I love that part of it. But then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. Probably the most basic key in existence, which means when you lose it in Ocean City, Maryland, it's not going to cost much to replace. So I like that part of it. But lock and unlock, you got the Toyota logo on the one side. And it is a push button start for the TRD Pro and Limited, available for other trim levels. So I'm just going to put my foot on the brake here and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so let's start it up. Tachometer is all the way to your left, speedometer is on your right. There is a digital portion of the gauges front and center. To control what is on that digital portion of the gauges, there are steering wheel mounted controls found on the right side of the steering wheel. Gives you things like your tire pressure for each individual tire. There's some safety information. It tells you when you need maintenance on the vehicle, outside temperature, and how many miles you have left until you hit empty, and so on. So pretty much everything you'll possibly want on the digital portion of the gauges. Then make our way to overall interior quality. There is an overhead sunglass holder, so I like that. Power moonroof is going to come in the TRD Pro and Limited trims, so we don't have that one today. Leather trim shifter for the TRD Sport trim level and up. Auto dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink controls for the TRD Pro and Limited trims. Dual zone climate control for the SR5 trim level and up, so you get the manual climate control for the SR. Wireless phone charger for the TRD Sport trim level and up, and we actually do have that. It's located just in front of the cup holders up here, so I'm a big fan of that. Speaking of cup holders, just behind that, again, leather wrap shift boot and shift knob. Then you got your cup holders, and then within the center armrest there is a couple phone charging ports in there and actually a decent amount of storage, so that is pretty cool. I like the Tacoma lettering found on the passenger side glove box. But all in all, definitely on the basic side when it comes to interior quality, but this is a truck, so really, who really cares about luxurious interiors when this is just meant to get the job done, essentially? So personally, I wouldn't have any issues with it. So then making our way to the infotainment screen. 7-inch color touchscreen display is going to come on the SR. 8-inch color touchscreen display then coming on the SR5 trim level and up. Get Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Factory navigation system is going to come on the TRD Pro and Limited trim levels. You can check out your driving statistics like miles per gallon at any given time, how many miles you have left until you hit empty as well, and of course your radio information. So 6 speakers is actually going to come standard on every single trim level across the board, but if you were to go with the TRD Pro or Limited trims, you're going to get a 6-speaker JBL sound system. There's still 6 speakers, but by JBL with a subwoofer and an external amp. So we don't have the JBL, so we do just have the standard 6 speakers. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. You know I don't play like that. Say you gon' me down, girl, you ain't breathing down. Actually not horrible. It's above average for a 6-speaker sound system. It's not going to be the best, but really 6 speakers is fine for the size of what the Tacoma is. JBL is obviously going to be a little bit better, but it's not a horrible sound system for the Tacoma. It's pretty just above average. But anyways, last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put this thing in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Limited trim level then is going to give you that panoramic view monitor, giving you that bird's eye view, which is going to lead us into safety. And so front side current airbags do come standard, but driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. Don't always find that. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard. Pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert, and then the TRD Pro and Limited trims are going to add a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Tacoma, great reliability. Just take a look at a Consumer Reports magazine. That'll vouch for that. I love that. V6 is great. I drove the 4-cylinder last year, but the V6 is great in the Tacoma. I will say that. Plenty of an acceleration in this thing. Very off-road capable too, especially dependent upon the trim level that you go with. So this thing could definitely hold its own probably on Aztec Island in Maryland with the wild horses in the sand. So I would definitely be willing to try that out. And the fact that a 6-speed manual is still available on a truck these days, that's pretty impressive as well if you wanted that. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Toyota at social media at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and everything else that goes on at the dealership. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. We will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.